let's go. More wood. Faster, keep it moving. You got it. Guys,
The fire
stack
didn't
it
start by
higher.
accident. It started because she ordered it. I was halfway up the stairs when I heard the chainsaw, that sharp, angry scream cutting through the quiet morning. By the time I reached the front window, thick gray smoke was already rising from my driveway. My driveway. Men in work boots were hacking apart my stacked firewood like it was trash. Perfectly seasoned oak. Split stack covered. For full cords. My winter. And standing there, hands folded, sunglasses on, completely unbothered, was Elaine Crowford, president of the Meadow Ridge HOA. "Burn it," she said, loud enough for me to hear through the glass. "All of it. I don't want a single piece left." A barrel was already set up. One man tossed a log inside and lit it. Flames jumped instantly. Behind me, I felt movement. My twin daughters, Lily and Nora, stood frozen at the top of the stairs. Lily's voice shook. "Dad, that's our heat." I didn't answer. I couldn't. My chest felt hollow. I ran outside, just as another armload of wood hit the fire. "What the hell are you doing?" I shouted. Elaine turned slowly, like she'd rehearsed this moment. "We're enforcing a violation," she said smoothly. "Unapproved storage. It's unsightly. Unsightly." I pulled the folded permits from my jacket like a lifeline. Fire department inspection. Township approval. Everything is legal. She didn't even glance at them. "HOA rules supersede that," she replied. "You were warned." Warned meant an email sent at 6:02 a.m. the day before. No hearing. No discussion. Just destruction. One of the workers hesitated. "Ma'am, are we really?" "Yes," Elaine snapped. "Now." The chainsaw roared again. Across the street, sprinklers hissed to life, spraying water over Elaine's flawless green lawn in November. Neighbors watched from windows. A few stood on sidewalks pretending to check their phones. No one stepped forward. No one said a word. My daughter stood behind me, watching everything burn. Elaine walked over and pressed a paper into my chest. "Cleanup and remediation," she said. $2,300. Due in 30 days. Then she smiled. "People like you need to learn your place." 6 months earlier, this house had felt like a blessing. It was old, small, stubborn. A 1950s place that somehow survived while luxury homes swallowed the land around it. When developers carved up my grandfather's property decades ago, everything changed except this house. When Arthur Bell, my grandfather, passed away, he left it to me. My wife Megan cried when we moved in. "He wanted you here," she said. I believed her. 3 days after the moving truck left, Elaine Crowford showed up. She wore a cream-colored blazer, oversized sunglasses, and a smile that felt rehearsed. "Welcome to Meadow Ridge," she said. "We just need to go over a few things." Her eyes locked onto my pickup truck. 12 years old. Clean. Work logos magnetized to the doors. "Commercial vehicles aren't allowed to be visible overnight," she said, tapping her clipboard. "It's my work truck," I replied. "I'm a mechanic." Her smile tightened. "Property values matter." Upstairs, Lily and Nora watched from their bedroom window. Megan stood behind me, arms crossed, already sensing the shift. That phrase, property values, became Elaine's favorite weapon. Within weeks, I saw the pattern. Mark Ellis got fined for growing vegetables. Unauthorized agricultural use. Rachel Kim's kids lost their swing set. Unapproved playground equipment. An elderly widow down the street had her bird feeders removed. Nuisance wildlife. But somehow, the big homes never had issues. The retired judge's grandchildren played on a massive wooden play structure. No citations. The board member's shed, clearly unpermitted, stayed right where it was. Meadow Ridge didn't have rules. It had targets. "She's picking who she wants to punish," Megan said one night. "Why doesn't anyone stop her?" Nora asked. "Because she controls the board," Megan replied quietly. The firewood was the breaking point. Every fall, my grandfather stacked wood in the same spot. Same distance from a fence. Same neat rows. It had been there longer than the HOA itself. This year, I followed every rule, permits, inspections, setbacks. I even paid extra just to be safe. Elaine showed up while I was stacking the last row. "This is unacceptable," she announced. "It's legal," I said calmly. "It's ugly," she replied. You have 72 hours to remove it. I requested a hearing. She scheduled it for a Tuesday afternoon during work hours. The decision was made before I spoke. Violation upheld. Fine started immediately. By the time November hit, letters stacked up on our kitchen table. Numbers climbed. Threats escalated. Megan tried to stay calm for the girls, but I saw her hands shake when she opened the mail. And then came the fire. That night, we sat in the living room with 2 space heaters humming uselessly. Cold air crept through the old walls. Lily stared at the dark fireplace. Grandpa said this house was special, she whispered. Nora looked at me. Dad, are we going to lose it? I didn't answer right away, because in my head, I wasn't thinking about Elaine anymore. I was thinking about the basement, about the boxes we hadn't finished sorting, about the thick folder Megan found weeks earlier and set aside. The one labeled, in my grandfather's handwriting, Creek documents, do not discard. Outside, Elaine's sprinklers ran again, soaking frozen grass under the glow of her porch lights. That was the moment something shifted. She thought she'd taken everything from us. She was wrong. The basement smelled like dust and old paper. Not the harmless kind, the heavy kind that clings to your clothes and makes your nose itch. The kind that tells you nobody's been down here in years. Megan stacked boxes under the bare bulb, while Lily and Nora complained about spiders and cobwebs. Why did Grandpa keep all this junk? Nora muttered. It's not junk, Megan said automatically, already sorting papers into neat piles. Librarian instincts hard. I wasn't really listening. My head was still outside, watching fire eat through 4 cords of oak, watching my daughters learn that adults with power don't always play fair. Then Megan stopped moving. Hey, she said quietly. Come look at this. She held up a thick, yellowed folder. The label was handwritten, faded but still clear. Mill Creek, Water, 1949. Inside were documents dense with legal language, stamps, signatures. I didn't understand most of it, but one phrase kept appearing again and again. Perpetual use. Primary rights. What does that mean? Lily asked. I shrugged. Probably nothing. But my gut twisted. The next morning, I called Daniel Reese, retired attorney, family friend, and the only man I trusted to tell me the truth without sugarcoating it. Daniel owed me a favor. I'd kept his ancient sedan running long past its expiration date. He met me at his kitchen table, glasses sliding down his nose as he flipped through the folder. At first, he was quiet. Too quiet. Then he leaned back slowly. Where did you get this? My grandfather. Daniel exhaled sharply. Your grandfather was a lot smarter than people thought. He tapped a page with his finger. This, he said, is a primary water right. Not secondary. Not shared. Primary. I frowned. Okay, and he continued. In this state, water law doesn't care about HOAs. Or subdivisions. Or feelings. My heart started pounding. First in time, first in right, Daniel said. Your grandfather secured these rights before any of those houses existed. I stared at him. So what does that actually mean? Daniel met my eyes. It means the water flowing through Meadow Ridge doesn't belong to the HOA. The room felt suddenly smaller. It belongs to whoever holds these rights. My throat went dry. You're saying me? Daniel nodded. Every faucet, every toilet, every sprinkler system. Elaine's lawn flashed in my mind. Green, soaked, arrogant. I need to confirm something, Daniel added. But if what I think is true, he smiled slowly. She's been watering her lawn with your water. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw flames. Chainsaws. My daughter's faces. The next day, Daniel called. Come back, he said. Now. He spread more papers across the table. Billing statements, contracts, payment records. There's a company called Mill Creek Utility Services, he explained. They collect monthly water access fees from the HOA. My stomach dropped. That company, he said, tapping the page, was set up by your grandfather. I felt dizzy. So the HOA has been paying you, Daniel finished. Indirectly. For years. I let out a short, humorless laugh. She fined me. She humiliated my family. She burned my winter heat, while paying for her water to me. Daniel's voice turned serious. You don't just own rights. You own leverage. I didn't tell anyone at first. Not Megan. Not the girls. I needed to think. Because power like that can destroy people. including the one holding it. I started paying attention. I noticed water waste everywhere. Sprinklers running at midnight. Driveways hosed down. Lawns greener than nature intended. I also started noticing something else. Fear. Neighbors avoided eye contact. Conversations stopped when Elaine walked by. Violation notices appeared selectively. Always the same type of families. Working families. People like us. One evening, Mark Ellis knocked on my door. "They find me again," he said quietly. Said my trash bin was visible for 15 minutes too long. 15 minutes. That night, I started keeping records. Dates. Times. Photos. Patents emerged fast. Elaine wasn't enforcing rules. She was enforcing obedience. Megan found something too. She spread documents across the dining table, eyes sharp. "These HOA expenses," she said. "They don't add up. Fake vendors. Inflated invoices. Services neighbors swore never happened." "She's skimming," Megan whispered. I looked at her. She looked back. For the first time since the fire, I saw something different in her eyes. Not fear. Resolve. A week later, Elaine showed up again. This time, she didn't smile. "I've heard you've been asking questions," she said coldly. "Am I not allowed?" I replied. She stepped closer. "You're making yourself a problem." I held her gaze. "Funny," I said. "I was thinking the same thing." Her eyes narrowed, just for a second. That was enough. She didn't know yet, but she could feel it, the shift. That night, Daniel finalized the paperwork. "Once you file," he warned, "there's no pretending anymore." I thought about my daughters huddled around space heaters, about being told to know my place. "File it," I said, because Elaine thought burning my woodpile into the fight. She had no idea. She just lit the fuse. December mornings in Meadow Ridge were quiet, too quiet. I could hear the sprinklers humming across the street, running at full blast as always, green water washing over lawns that no one ever walked on. Only this time, the sound didn't make me angry. It made me smile, because every drop, every pipe, every valve was now under my control. The folder from Grandpa Arthur's basement, the one Megan had discovered months ago, wasn't just paper. It was leverage, legal power, the kind that changes everything. I filed the official notice with the state, asserting my primary water rights. 30 days to respond. Elaine Crowford got the notice on her desk. I didn't call her. I didn't warn her. I let the law speak. Meanwhile, I recruited allies. Families who had been bullied, fined, humiliated. Mark Ellis, Rachel Kimo, Stan Rivera, even Mrs. Kowalski, the 82-year-old widow who had been terrified to hang her bird feeders. They were ready, angry, determined. By December 15th, we had a plan. The first morning of enforcement, I showed up at Meadow Ridge with equipment. Meters, gauges, monitoring devices. I tapped into the creek source. Every drop flowing into the subdivision passed through my legal easement. I watched the usage spikes in real time. Elaine's property alone consumed 800 gallons per day during irrigation season. More than 3 working families combined for bathing, drinking, and cooking. I smiled, because she had just burned my winter heat, and now the tables were turning. I drafted the water restriction plan carefully, not to punish indiscriminately, but to enforce equality. Families who had been treated unfairly would now have full access. Those who had been living in privilege while breaking rules, they'd face real consequences. I didn't move the first drop yet. I waited, let tension build, let Elaine stew. And stew she did. Within hours, she realized something was wrong. Meters blinking, gates locked, pump readings abnormal. Panic calls went out to her HOA board, to vendors, to anyone she thought had power. Nothing worked. The first official call came from her nephew, Derek, who still didn't understand. "Uncle, something's wrong with the water." I didn't answer. Instead, I sent a message to the families. It's time. By December 20th, we implemented Phase 1. Water to all previously bullied families restored fully. Water to the elite homes restricted proportionally to prior violations. Because sometimes the best revenge is winning legally, wisely, and completely.